Mark Pope was talking Malachi Moreno on the Eye on College Basketball podcast with Matt Norlander from CBS Sports last week, and he is very excited to coach this possible star center potentially. I do feel like, just speaking for myself for a moment here, I feel like Malachi Moreno has kind of been a forgotten piece in the excitement for this upcoming season. There's so much buzz around Jaden Quaintance, who, yes, is awesome and is on draft boards, and his injuries kind of looming over this, but man, Malachi Moreno was one of the better center prospects in the class of 2025. A kid that, had he gone to a school that would need him to play more immediately, I think would be talked about right away as like an impact guy as a freshman. Instead, he's sort of just this Kentucky kid through and through that is really committed to the culture. And you hear him interviewed, he really is on board for being a role player in year one if that's what this team needs him to be. If you listen to Mark Pope gush about Malachi Moreno, though, I mean, there's a world this kid is a lot more than a role player. I'm going to read you some quotes from what Mark Pope told Matt Norlander. He said, Malachi Moreno, I've seen him dominate 8 feet and in, offensively and defensively, at the highest level of kids his age in such an incredible way. Coaching him at USA Basketball was unbelievable to watch his domination in that space, and he's incredibly mobile. This Malachi Moreno is going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with him. He's so young, he's so capable. From him, we're going to see moments where it's like he should be in the NBA right now. And then we're going to see moments where we feel like, I'm not sure Malachi knows exactly what he's doing. We're going to see both of those, and that's what growth is. End quote from Mark Pope on Moreno. On the highest of highs, saying he looks like an NBA player right now. That's something that is going to happen this season, but then also be patient. There's going to be moments he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. What are your expectations for Malachi Moreno this season?
I think that obviously with Quaintance in the fold, I do think that that's the starting center, but I think sooner rather than later, you're going to see the other bigs who are apparently the backup centers be kind of phased out in this scenario because like I think Malachi Moreno has all the potential in the world, right? And I think we have seen flashes and he wasn't a highly rated recruit for no reason, right? I think we see why it was there, the size, the skill, clear role too, I think, on what gets him to the NBA as well too. Like I think if he's a 7 footer, rim protector, mobile, dunk, can stretch the floor a little bit too, then you find yourself in the league faster or quicker rather than later, or sooner rather than later is the phrase. My apologies. And, you know, with everything else going on with Kentucky's front court, I think you know, he's going to find himself as the backup big sooner rather than later, to be honest with you, just because, a lot of the things that, we're hearing are that, Brandon Garrison is doing the Brandon Garrison thing. Like he'll have moments where you're like, hell yeah. Then you have moments where you want to hit yourself over the head with a chair. So, I think sooner rather than later, there might be a shift to Malachi Moreno being the backup big on this team.
Yeah, I think that should be sort of the program's, I don't know, hope, right?
Can I get silly too?
You can be a silly little boy.
Okay, I'm gonna be silly real quick. Um, if Malachi Moreno comes on faster than you think, right? And your four spot isn't doing what it's supposed to do,
No,
do you think Mark Pope gets super cute and goes double 7 footer?
no, you can't. That you wouldn't be able to do the things Mark Pope wants to do offensively with that.
That's true. That's a doomsday button though.
I don't think either. If one of those guys was a little more perimeter oriented, I think you could, but I don't think you can do it with Quaintance and Moreno. Moreno to me, listen, I do think he's an NBA player one day. I really do. I think it's largely just going to be off of like rim protection and lob catching. Like I don't think we're going to see him develop, I don't know, anything crazy offensively as a go-to scorer or an engine or anything. It's good. I love the Mark Pope system for any high caliber big though, because I do feel we'll probably see a more skilled version of Malachi Moreno just playing in a Mark Pope offense than we would in a lot of other systems. They probably will use him as a passer and a screener and on the perimeter and in different ways that can put things on tape that help him in the long-term trajectory wise. But to me, what's special about Malachi is truly just like some of the athletic gifts he has, the rim protection. I think that is something. I mean, Quaintance is a great defender. Even if he's not healthy, Quaintance is special there. But to me, those are things that for a freshman are not all that difficult to do. Like if you can get in the mix, protect the rim, and just catch and finish lobs off of other players, you can play right away. And there's been, I don't know, enough on record discussion about their frustrations with Brandon Garrison. I think it would be fair to say the door is wide open for Malachi Moreno to just be the Kentucky backup center. And to me, if this season goes according to plan, best case scenario for Kentucky, that's exactly what happens. And Malachi Moreno becomes one of the better backup centers in the country this season. It is possible, right? Because just off recruiting profile wise, he could have gone to a lot of other programs and we'd be talking about him as like one of the better freshmen in America ready to make an impact. It's just the fact that he's kind of understudying for Jaden Quaintance for a year first.
Right. And you got to think too, like big picture wise, JQ's incredible this year. He's a lottery pick, right? Malachi Moreno steps into the fold next year. He's really good. He's an NBA first round draft pick, which I think he could be. That's like 2 years back to back that, he's putting centers in the league. Mark Pope, we do videos all the time on this channel. Like he wants to emphasize what he can do with the center position in his offense with his team. You see how all these other schools, we look at like the Georgetowns of the world, like, yeah, I put Thomas Sorber into the league, or I put this big into the league. If I'm going out to recruit let's say, who's the class of 2027 big? Is Obina a
Oh,
class of 2027?
Obina is, I believe. Yeah.
That's crazy, Obina. I just put Jaden Quaintance in the league and I put Malachi Moreno. Do you want to be next, sir?
Yeah, true. You almost, I think if you're, I don't know, I can see that both ways though. If you're a Kentucky fan or even on the coaching staff, to me, it would be great if he's so good that he's a two and done and you can now say we've got this pipeline of guys. It might be even better if he's a 4 year guy that just dies for the Kentucky Blue and almost like, I don't know, like there is a world Malachi Moreno is one of the best centers in the country next year. There's also a world where he's 4 years of being an awesome backup and he's perfectly content there. And if you listen to Malachi Moreno talk about it, I mean, I get it. He's an incoming freshman. It's easy to say, but this is a kid that's like local, right? He played with Indiana Elite. And like, I think he gets like Kentucky. He's already saying, quote, I've got one goal and one goal only. That's to win number 9. Whether I play 5 minutes or 25 minutes, as long as we're winning, I couldn't care less. I kind of buy that. And I think like, I don't know, we saw some of the better, even Calipari era teams, some of the best Cal teams mixed the one and done obvious NBA guys with like a Willie Cauley Stein who stuck around a couple years, right?
Hmm.
And to me, that's sort of my hope is that Malachi Moreno becomes Mark Pope's Willie Cauley Stein, where he's in and out of the lineup. Sometimes he starts, sometimes he's off the bench. He's blocking so many shots. And by the end of his career, he's one of the better bigs in the country. It just might take a couple years for him to get there. And I think Malachi Moreno's on board with that.
Yeah. And look, it's like you want to get that happy medium too, I guess. Like you want to be able to, put the guys in the league, but also like having guys stick around. And yeah, I think Malachi could be in that same fold. But yeah, I feel like I don't know, because there is so much hope and there should be around Quaintance, and then like they got Garrison back. It's like Malachi has kind of like been taking a back seat or kind of been looped in like the group with like Reese Potter when in all actuality I think he's the second best center on this team.
Yeah, 100%.
Right now too. Like I get like the developing into the big he can be. I think that currently today as it stands, he's the second best center on the team.
I tend to agree with you. I think it's just a product of how deep Kentucky is, though. They really are like the deepest team in the country. Go 13 deep, and that means McDonald's All Americans are
That means that they're not guys what, Gregory?
a McDonald's All
Yeah,
American.
McDonald's All-American.